Hello, welcome to our relationship talk. My name is Kathleen.
My
He
name
is-
is Olivier.
and check out our previous talks. This is the third session, and week by week we are bringing interesting topics from different angles and showing you it's not that black and white how regularly we are talking about these topics. And today is a bit special.
Yeah.
Is the cheating. And let's talk about cheating and let's see what we can
Discover.
discover out of cheating.
So indeed, when Katalin proposed me to talk about cheating, I said, okay, let's open the box, let's see what's there, and let's start that discussion. And I guess that for many people, it's probably not a discussion which is so usual to have with your partner. It could be obvious, but it's full of implicit understanding. And so let's open the box and check what we can learn from that. So we can start maybe with an example or something that it's.
Well, the reason why it was so important for me to bring up and open up this Pandora's box, so much generalization and typicalization around cheating. And at the same time, what is happening sometimes it's so natural. It's related to the life is changing, we are changing, we have new understanding, new desires, and how can we express if something is changing?
Yeah.
And one of the side effects, based on my opinion, one of the side effects is when you want to stick to the old rules or the assumed rules, and at the same time you have new desires which you may feel against the relationship, or you have unwanted damage, or even more serious.
Mm-hmm.
So let's define what is cheating on with one sentence. And what is came to me as the easiest way is lying to yourself or others, agreed because of the agreed or assumed rules, where you want to hide the details because you are worrying the damage what you can create with these details, and you are worrying about the announcement, or you are worrying about to open and show these details to your partner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very interesting. But as Katalin said, we are changing continuously. In fact, in our life, we are growing together in a relationship to discover ourselves, and we don't know who we will become in 6 months, in 6 years, or whatever. And so we'll be confronted to a lot of experience or feelings, and most of the time the fears of discussing about it is coming from the fears of destroying the relationship, the connection. And it's a bit of a paradox, because in the relation to dare to talk about intimate subject and very sensible subject like maybe cheating or desire or whatever, um, require self-confidence, safety and trust in the relation. And then you need to build it, you need to talk about it. It's not something that is implicit, that is natural, that is easy. It's something that it's part of the experience, because if you want to trust and feel someone and feel safety to surrender in the relation and really feel fully yourself with your partner, you need to talk, you need to experience. And the fears come from avoiding that communication, sometimes to avoid, to destroy, or to impact the other based on your assumption, or based on the possible reaction of your partner, and the ability to stay in that intensity of the situation.
Yeah,
And what it means cheating.
yeah, and this is the most interesting part, because it's always depend on the two people. There is no rules for what is cheating. Like and agreed or by the society or by the country or by anything.
Yeah.
It's like there is no
Yeah.
rules what is cheating. For some people, even the thought of or a desire of someone else could be a cheating already, or even if you just think about it.
Could be a look, or look with desires, or just the way you answer with your body language, attitude, or verbally to a desire of someone else. It could be a touch. It could be, for instance, for some people, being naked with someone, for instance, could be cheating.
And for others, is just a real action, is like a kiss or any sexual connection. For some people, maybe just a one night stand can hit the cheating categories.
And I'm just curious, what would be for you cheating? Right here, right now, as you are today?
Oh, that's a good question. So for me, the because I accept you are changing and you may have new desires which we did not express or did not discuss in the past. For me, the cheating would be if that desire is sensitive to me. So that like it's a really good question because it helps me to think about. And maybe it's helping you as well if you think about honestly this question. So based on our conversation or based on our any expression, I would feel like that you cheat if you take action on your desire before you express it to me. Even like if there is a new desire and you take action on it to fulfill your desire, and it's sensitive to me, and you did not express it before you have this desire, or you did not discuss it with me.
And what if I don't know it's sensible for you?
Yeah, this is the this is the
right. Let's be honest. It's a practical
this is the assumption
case.
around it.
You may have exactly the same kind of discussion with your partner. Okay, what is sensible for you?
And this is the hard. It's really hard to say it upfront what is sensitive to me.
And honestly, sometimes you can only know it when you do it. An action you took with someone could be perceived as cheating for your partner, or it could be, especially when the partner is jealous or whatever, and lack of self-confidence or whatever, or not able to, I would say, stay present in the intensity of the emotion. But if you don't do it, you don't know the reaction of your partner. So it's for me, it's really a special topic. So when Katalin proposed me to talk about it, let's talk it, because it's so special. It's really so special. You can talk about theory, but everyone in your own relation are challenged with the same kind of situation. And for me, a relationship means being in the container, a space with a partner where you build yourself. You are in safe, and with safety and trust, you build a beautiful life. And so the relationship is not about being in jail or fearing the reaction of the others. Because if you fear the reaction, you are not honest. You will hide because you are afraid of any kind of reaction that could be painful. And for me, the relation is source of deployment, expansion, joy, being open, discovering, being creative, and making once it's just an experience, doing it. So
probably it's coming back to the setup or the intention of the action, but the setup of the relationship when two people step into a relationship and they are not clear about themselves, what are the rules, what are the deal breaker, and could be this one is an option to you as well to discuss with your partner. It's what action or what are the rules for you, which is absolutely not acceptable.
For me, I have an advice. It's like there is a question about the time when you are conscious that you reach certain limits for yourself, or the partner reach certain of your limits. You say, but before a certain moment you were not aware about it, and now you start to be aware. So when you start to be conscious about something, you can say it. Okay, I didn't perceive that way, but now with the latest event, I feel that I'm discomfort about it. I feel something is changing about myself or whatever, and I feel maybe you are more sensible to, or you could become more sensible to a certain attitude of myself, and then I would like to share it with you, because for me, the key point is to be able to be vulnerable. Just be honest and vulnerable, and then let's see what we can build together. The relationship is strong enough and intelligent enough, you can build and go further with it. But if you start to cheat once, twice, and so on, it can become an habit. What the opposite is also based on habit. You need to have the habit to talk about sensible topics. And
so there are two aspects right here, right now. We can summarize. The first one is definitely the when sensitive action happened, and maybe you think your partner cheat on you, is assume it's not a deliberate action. Assume it's your partner didn't know it's sensitive to you. To give the chance for the yes, it's when a pattern is happening, it's like someone is doing over and over again the same thing. Yes, it's very obvious. But when it's happening at the first time, at least give the positive welcome to your partner to express the situation and express what's happened, how it happened. Because as you asked me, it's a very natural example. Maybe I don't know it's sensitive to me up until it's not happening to me or not happening in the relationship. So first give your partner the handicap, or give the positive space to say, okay, I didn't know, so it was not deliberate. The second is also when you find out maybe yes, it was a cheating, to go into the details and saying that okay, it could be a clash, because maybe your desire or my desire would never ever be fulfilled in a relationship. We can go in extreme details right here, right now. Let's say there are some relationship where a third person or fourth person involved in a sexual connection is not possible. But one of the partner has this desire to have a threesome, for example. How would you handle it, or what is your advice about it? Because it's a clash. It's a very, very strong clash when you say, okay, I never ever can accept this desire. Even this is your biggest desire. I love you so much, but I never ever can fulfill it. What do you suggest?
Yeah, it depends on yourself. What's the importance of that desire? If that desire is just an expression of another one, which means you feel intuitively it's something strong that you want to live, and it's very important for yourself, and you really desire to do it, you can find a way to experience it. Maybe with your partner in a certain moment, with a certain person, give you time to digest, to talk about it, to create the moment to live it. And if it's not possible, maybe you can drop it and say, okay, I have it in my desire list, in my bucket list, you can say, but I leave it for later or for never, because there are many other manners to live a certain experience. But let's say it's like sexuality at the beginning. You have one partner have a much more libido and much more sexual drives than the others. You need to be honest also with the partner and say, okay, I have really much more desire than you, and what we can do with it. If we love really each other and we want to grow, is it compatible? Can we match? Can we grow safely with trust and joy in that relation? And sex is just part of many aspects of the relation. It's not the only element or the key element or the keystone. It's just one element. And is it because we are in relation that we need to do everything together? I don't know. And especially on the sexual domain, most people want to have the exclusivity, the monopoly, and then that's where sometimes some difficulties happen because there are some kind of power or play of power or yeah.
And also, so there is
On the
no
others.
right or wrong answer here. It really depends on the two people who are in a relationship, or maybe more. I don't know. For some people, there are more people than two.
And be curious also, because if you feel that someone is maybe cheating with you, you can just be honest and not accuse directly or judge, and be curious. Just put your attention on the others and try to understand what is there. Because if the people is really maybe hiding it, it's not cheating, but it's become sensible for both of you, and no one is there to talk about it. You both feel it's become tricky, but no one want to talk about it. So the one that there to talk about it can also say, okay, maybe we feel both discomfortable about it. I started to talk. It's maybe the most uncomfortable moment for me, but I want to put you in a comfortable manner so that we can talk. Because if one is avoiding it, it's because of the fears of the impact or the consequences of that talk. So if you want to talk about it, don't accuse. Otherwise, you will create your reality. You will create what you feel or what you want to prove, and then there is no curiosity. You are just proving what you assume. That's just open if you have enough self-confidence to understand what the other is living, what is changing his life, what is new, how is it, and then you can build more and more trust, share, intimacy, complicity together.
Okay, so one of the tips right now. So there are two aspects. The one aspect is, and it's already happened, and this it's really important to expect or assume, especially it's happening at the first time with you, to assume it's not deliberate. So don't straight away put your partner in a jail because you think it's a cheater. The second, it's the open communication and something is happened with us. We have a technical issue, so we are coming back. Just a second.
Yeah, anyway, for the moment, we can hear, so we can continue with the voice. And let's stay connected and continue without the video. That's fine for me. Otherwise, we can lose the thread.
Give us just, we found it. That's awesome. So assume the positive gift out of the situation regularly. So assume your partner did not do it deliberately. And the second one is the open communication. Express your desires, express your changes, what's happening inside you. Probably for women is hard to express desire because that could be a fear of the loss of the relationship. And from the men's perspective, maybe the fear of hurting us. If I express my desire, it hurts. Maybe it hurts my partner.
Yeah, and how to manage what we open the box and how we manage afterwards the consequence of it. If for a man, maybe I will not generalize, but it could be, I will manage the emotion of my partner or my emotions. Or if I assume I know how we will end, maybe with I would say very aggressive wordings or violence or any kind, or silence or blocking the communication, or having a problem of I would say living together for a moment. It's really tricky. So indeed, it's all the known consequences that are and that's why I advise people to talk about it. Indeed, I feel something is changing, and or we can talk about it because it's very uncomfortable for me, but probably for you. But if we avoid it, it can become more and more uncomfortable. And for me, the communication, the relation is even more important for me. I can put that desire on the side because the relationship is more important for me. Maybe we can find a way.
Let's go practical. So I have few practical tips for you how you can start this kind of conversation. The first one is finding the moment in the calendar, or both of us calendar, when we schedule a time, and we say, okay, we just sit down and talk about desires. And you can the exercise you can start on basic stuff. Maybe it's not related to the sexuality, it's related to the relationship, what you would like to experience in the future, or maybe it's just a holiday. But definitely for women, express what you desire. That's a really, really important. And agreed with the partner, okay, every week there are 50 minutes for me when I can express my desire without judgment, without consequences, without saying it's not the right desire or anything, but have the opportunity to express. The second, it always helps if you use the third person. So express your desire as you would talk about the third person. And explain the story, explain the situation when the desire, I'm talking about the women perspective. After that, maybe you can, that it may be helpful for any men as well. So start to talk, the expression is the way is like, she was thinking about the past and seen an advertisement on the internet, and have seen a dress, and because of this dress, this and that thought came to her. So the third person expression always helps to remove the emotional association and helps to express the desire. So to have the time when everybody can freely express themselves. And the second is the language to speak with as a third person. The third, try to involve fun in the conversation.
Yeah.
With a game, with
curiosity. Because indeed, the relation for me, it's about having a space when you can enjoy more the relation. Otherwise, you can stay alone. If it's just to annoy yourself or the others, I don't see the point of being together. Maybe to trigger yourself to evolve and progress and grow together on a specific tricky point. But really, it's about making a life which is more beautiful together. So if the communication starts with what you can or cannot do, it's maybe more boring, because it's you try to have power over yourself, what you can do or cannot do. But if we talk about the desires and regularly talk about what are your desires for yourself, for you together in the relationship, it starts to be more open on what you don't know yet. It's about, and you start to be vulnerable and reveals yourself to learn step by step. And once something very tricky happens, you have such an habit to talk about it that it's become just as usual. It's something you are trained about it. And don't protect yourself. Be there to be vulnerable, because protecting is probably the most, or willing to win or to protect yourself make problems. But let's say, what if I don't have to protect it? What if it's the time to talk about it and reveal it? What I will learn about myself, and how I can involve my partner in that desire or just that experiment. That's really just a very important.
It's not. Sorry, it's not the fun part. So let's how you can involve gaming and fun into this conversation. One of the example, you create 2 pots, and whenever you have a question to your partner, which you may feel it's to ask him, you just write it down on a piece of paper, and there is a pot for her, there is a pot for him, and you just put the question on in a paper, and you agreed in a time when you like in a board game, you just pick a card or pick a question, and whatever is the question, you answer it. It's a fun way to, and also it's not that direct, because wherever the question is coming to you, you just write it on a piece of paper, and you may forget about it already. So the question itself will be a fun for both of you, because you don't know what is the question. And involve anything which is creates more comfort or more relaxation in the conversation. Could be an activity together, cooking together, or any environment which helps you to even laying down. So even the physical position, if you change it, can help to relax in the conversation. So some people really stick to the look into my eyes, otherwise you are cheating on me because you are not saying the right things. Yeah. So we learned a few rules from our parents, and maybe it's not true. Maybe the topic or the expression of the desire, it's so heavy, and also you while you are expressing, you even think about it. So maybe the laying down on the floor, closing the eyes can help you to express. Just even changing the position, changing the setup can help you to express.
And what I really love and encourage you to do is to be vulnerable and honest with yourself and your partner, because then you can win everything behind. It's just become more easy and trustful. And in many
How? Okay.
in many domains, we talk about a private garden, for instance. That's really something that I'm not a fan of it. For me, it's something, okay, obviously the partner is not in your boot, and you cannot repeat and re-explain and show everything, and your life is your life, and you will need twice the time to explain and reveal everything to your partner. It's not the purpose. But the secret garden, like you have something to hide to someone, or it's important to have something which create the teasing or the desire, whatever. Yeah, that's probably something that some people emphasize and say, oh, it's really important to nourish a relationship, to have that. For me, that's become just obvious and natural that we have our own private life, and together, when we are together, what we want to build together. The person was very nice before we met, and we are great together, and if we broke up, that person will be great also. It's not depending on us, but what we can do together to be to really enjoy much more the situation, to make it fun, to discover, to do something that we never did alone, or we were not there to do alone, and the other can be a leverage or a manner or a manner to access it or to do it. That will be very awesome, to involve and think together what you could do together that is not possible alone. And that's also the basic of the relation, is that you will face something that you cannot do alone. Otherwise, that's the purpose of a relation. You will be faced by many stuff. And so accept you are changing, and you will be faced with something new regularly.
So let's just dive into, because that part is the preparation. That part is I think the better way when you do proactive action. You prevent any consequences. But what can we do when it's already happened? When you feel, or when you find yourself in the situation, oh my God, what if I'm a cheater now? What can we do?
For me, it's to be honest and say it as you feel it. Okay, I feel now that I could be on the edge of cheating, or I feel uncomfortable about you when I look in your eyes, or when I'm in your presence, or when you think about me. Sometimes you have that thick sense that may the partner feel really what's happening, and you can guess, or you feel something is good or wrong, and there is something disturbing the connection, and so you say, okay, it's time, the soonest the best, and let's talk about it.
I think what you are talking about is the middle, is when I, or the person who is in the action or the motion, recognize, yes, it's I'm getting close to the edge, it's time to talk about it. Expressing another situation when you already in the cheating, when you find yourself is like, oh my God, if my partner is not there, but if I take this action, I know I have to hide something. But at the same time, the desire is so strong, and you want it. And I'm telling you one easiest example, because it's so obvious. For some people, the kissing is already a cheat on you. If you kiss someone else, you cheat on me. And let's say you are out somewhere and you may tipsy, or you may under other impression, like maybe the dynamic of the group you are with it, and it's happening. You are finding yourself, you have an extreme urge of to have the kiss with a third person. And this is the point when we need to discuss what we could do. Because the obvious, do it or not do it. Yeah, that's the most obvious part. How you can be creative to fulfill your desire with the fairness or with the openness in that situation. This is the question. I was describing one situation, and obvious it's a very generalized. But what do you think? What we can advise to people?
For me, it's to own it. So don't hide it and don't minimize or amplify the problem. It's just there, and don't fake or just avoid the subject. You say, okay, I did it. Obviously, I did it, and it was really important for me at that moment for this.
So
and this
you
reason.
would kiss.
No, but let's say you did it. The example is you did it, and it's nothing to hide. It's there, and you did it.
I was talking about the exact situation. When you are in the situation, it's like the desire is there. You want to kiss that person, and you know it's a cheating. What do you suggest? How you can deal with this?
If you have plenty of time, do you need to do it or not? That's the first question.
Okay, this is
even if it's sexuality, it's like impulsion or something strong and unconscious. No, it's unconscious, but then it becomes conscious, and it's a force of life. And what do you do with it? You are still the owner and the master of your life, and you do whatever you want about it. It's no force exists beyond you that is stronger than you to take a decision. You are always responsible of your decision. So if it's there, you can also say, I do it or I don't do it. And if I do it or I don't do it, I will take the responsibility of it.
Maybe it's a really, really good topic to discuss with your partner and share this live to open up the conversation. Is like, hey, what do we do when we are finding ourselves in this? Because it would be so awkward. It's like, I desire a kiss with a third person, and they're calling you is like, could you give me a permission, please? Because I have this desire. But maybe for some couple, this is the solution to straight away discuss it there. Maybe.
Because it's not because we are with a partner that we are not having desires, that the other disappeared and suddenly there is nobody on the planet and you are just the two of you. Of course, there will be attraction, desire, and you have to master it because it's the basic of life. You will face your desire until your death. So it's really important to own it the much you can. And indeed, if you can discuss with your partner depending on how she feels, maybe have an agreement about it, or say, okay, I'm still a human, I have desire, and I did it. Is it the end of the world? Is it really so dramatic? Because some people, they have had sexual experience with another person. So
what do you mean?
So they have sex with someone else, so not in the couple. In French, you say relation extra-conjugale. So
outside of the relationship.
Yeah, outside of the relationship. And is it the end, or could you use it as a lever to learn and, in fact, to consolidate the relation? Because some people is the end of the discussion, and there is no means to discuss about it. But if you behave that way, you block it. Prevent the other to be vulnerable and honest. And so don't blame the other that they are not honest, because if they are honest, you will attack them. So let's say someone is make love, your partner make love with someone else. Okay, what do you do together? Maybe it will strengthen your relationship. You will have discussion you will never had before. Maybe it will open
I have a
something
question mark around it. Yeah, it's here comes the very important element is to have to like really, really know your partner. What is what are the breaking rules? If you are coming from like for some people is not acceptable. Yeah,
Mhm.
they cannot really accept it, and it has to be respected. So that's why it's really, really important for you to express what are your rules, what are your boundaries upfront, not waiting for the situation is happening.
Mhm.
But also, it's of course, it's the life is happening, and definitely being honest is a way. Would you recommend? Okay, let's say in a relationship, this is a rule breaker to have a sex with someone else. So when it's happened, and you know it's okay, if I own it, that means it's the end of the relationship. Would you recommend to keep inside?
Can you repeat? To keep inside?
Yeah,
Inside.
to keep it secret.
To keep it secret?
Own it, but keep it secret.
It's
And
depend
saying that
depend on how you can live with it. Let's say you did it once, you will never do it, or you can handle it in something which is not uncomfortable, it will not affect, or it creates even more love or passion with your current partner. Everybody has the power on his life and his decisions, so you have to decide what you want to do with it. If it's to improve the relationship, okay, what is done is done. But it's funny because you are also talking about desire and some people phantasm. And recently I've get discussion about phantasm, and some people say, oh yes, I was dreaming about this. And so we can have a discussion because it's passionate. I want it, but the desire is so strong. And when you do it, it's nothing. It's really disappointing, even with the best context scenario or partner, and you feel that phantasm with some that you did, it's really not so good. But it was important for you to try. And then you see the discrepancy or the difference between the reality and the dream, and say, okay, it was that. I thought it was so good, but I did it. And in fact, no. So that's why it's important to see the desire like something which is not the end, it's just an extra step. It's just an opportunity to nourish the relation to yourself, to your life, to the partner, and make it joyful, just to feel it, feel alive,
and also filter
increase yourself, being more self-confident. It's important to build that self-confidence so that you feel secure in any situation. And if you feel secure in any situation, the partner can also feel secure to discuss with you. And then everything becomes more and more easy. If you block it, you will also have someone in front of you that will block the possibility to discuss.
Also filter your desires on the way. It's really your desires, or just painted or pictured. It's oh my God, if I have it, it's so big desire. For some people to have a threesome, it's a big desire, but maybe just because it's proposed or pictured, it's something ordinary experience. If you die without that experience, that means you miss out something. So how many ways you impacted by a fear of missing out? Is it really your desires, what you are desiring, or just from the past, or just a fantasy? And put in the right category inside you before. You can express it and call it as a fantasy. And if it's coming back over and over again, that means probably it's a desire. It's a real desire. It's your one.
Mm-hmm. And also another aspect came into my mind is the honor. For some people, for some culture, for whatever, sometimes the honor is so important that for you, for the couples, for the image, or for anything, for any of your reason, the honor is important, and so it's way more higher in the level of your values than maybe cheating. And so then you need to accept the consequence of your values. But it's really important to accept, and it's your own choice to make your scales or hierarchy of values. So I recommend you to maybe write on a piece of paper what are your 5 most important values in your life. What is driving your life, your decision, your action, your talk, your posture, your actions, and what is the most important value in your daily life, anywhere, in your relation, for instance. And then you start to better understand how you behave, what are the energy behind your reactions, and also for the partner, and then start to see what's the most important. And the value could be anything. Everything can be a value. It could be honesty, it could be honor, it could be generosity, it could be love, it could be presence, it could be quietness, or it could be funny or crazy, it could be so many stuff. It's just up to you to decide.
Yeah, and maybe the desire or the fantasy is coming from the desire of variety. And if you find yourself is a big clash, the way how you can channel this desire or fantasy is to live out on other areas of your life, the variety or finding the way. Of course, if the desire pokes you so much, that means it's way more important. And come back with the topic, not with the force, not forcing your partner, but expressing the meaning behind it. The meaning is always more talkative than just the desire itself. It talks about you, it talks to your partner. It's not about I want to risk the relationship just to have the desire. It's the meaning behind it. And also to know by yourself what is the meaning behind it. Why is it so important to you?
Yeah, in your value, for instance, it could be the needs in your life to explore, to experiment new stuff regularly. So it could be a very important order in the top 5 of your values. But for your partner, it could be stability, or it could be I don't know, something which is maybe potentially opposite or seems so different, but you can, as Katalin said, you can find a way to explore in many domains of your life, even in a relation, because the more you put, the more constraint you put, the more creative you can be. That's really well known in innovation and creativity. If you put a lot of constraint, then you can really start to be very, very creative. And you become lazy and not creative when you don't have any constraints. So think about it. Anything you put on the table, then you start to have more piece of the puzzle and start, okay, I can, let's say, enjoy my life or surprise my partner or enjoy the moment together, considering all those differences and nourish each other with our own values. If someone is having a lot of moment alone and feel alone regularly, but you love to have a lot of social life and so on, okay, it could be compatible. You need to find your way. And then for some people, it could be cheating about an extreme or a very strong social life, while the other want to stay at home. But how you deal with it? Put and try to see if I have this and this, what are the common points in between, or what are the universe in those criteria that match it.
Also, create a few emergency words when you agreed in a special state of mind. I don't know, it could be alarm or any, like some signal to your partner is like, hey, I have a very important things to share and I require openness. Here I don't require to solve me, to have the desire, or I just want to express it. And that can help as well. Also, what is, if you start to express these desires, or even the topic is coming on the board, agreed how you are expressing when the moment is coming. Because maybe I have desire, or like I have fantasy, anything. And let's back to the threesome, because it's like a kind of like a very, very general desire, which is regularly not accepted or very black and white for some people. And you may have that desire, and you say, but it's at the moment it's just a fantasy. I'm thinking about it, it's coming back to me, I'm seeing some articles about it, and not just the visual impression or effect. And how you can express to you is that the right time for my desire to fulfill. It's like, okay, from the fantasy category, it's moving into the desire. It's like from right now on, I'm looking for the opportunity to have it. What do you suggest? How can we discuss this?
Yeah, so I would start from the beginning, having a regular moment to talk about any kind of desires, so that you can start from basic desire and then there more and more connect to what you really want and give space for you and the others to go with more deeper and profound desire, and the one that remain are still there, that take more importance. Then you progressively you give the space to give it, and remind that the human is pretty easy. It's most of the time it's about time and energy, and we usually act in the manner which requires the less of energy. So the easiest you do it, and then you avoid to talk about it because it seems more, and then the problem and the consequence arrive. So indeed, if you don't select the easy path and you start to put time and energy, then you create something more beautiful, really. And because if you don't do it, believe me, you will go to the easy path and you will avoid it. You will never talk about it. It will take, and it will create some turbulence or problem one day or another. So really think about it. Take courage. Understand that it requires energy to do it. And allow your partner to grow with you, because it's not because you have a certain level of desire or did something or want to do something that could be perceived as cheating or whatever. The partner needs also to grow and follow you one way or another, to understand and feel the complexity, the connection, because a relation exists because you share something, you nourish the link between you, you feel the communication. If there is no communication, there is no relation.
And also, unfortunately, there are some cases when the cheating is real, when it's there, when the action is very deliberate and it's turning into a pattern, and it's coming back and repeatable. That's the moment when the time to consider, is that the right relationship for you? And time to really create the strong boundaries when you say it's not acceptable to me. Once I could maybe forgive you, because maybe I assume it was not deliberate. When it's coming back repeatedly, unfortunately, that's your time, independently from the circumstances, to think about it on different way, to come to the conclusion, is that the right relationship for you or not, or that's the right partner for you or not, or taking serious action. But because some behavior is not changing, so let's accept it, and it's very relevant. So don't abuse yourself just because you're afraid of other consequences of, let's say, being single or coming out of a relationship, because that means you are forcing your own life and create emotional damage on yourself if you are not protecting your boundaries.
That's true. And also consider at the different level, when it's not so dramatic than this kind of situation, you can also think that for some people, they grow up in a family where cheating, lying, hiding, or not being vulnerable is common, because that's just an habit, and it's maybe time you can take any opportunity. Any opportunity is a possibility to change the situation and say, okay, I can change the dynamic. It's the moment to do it. I feel mature and ready now. It's become too much, or I feel I can do something different than this. And it's not maybe I would say, you don't have to judge your partner. It may be, surrounding and in the habit or in the culture, but say, okay, we know that. And if we want to do something else, for me, it's important to create something else. It's well known and it's become boring or annoying or painful or very dramatic for me. okay, and if we create the space to be vulnerable and there to talk about it, because it's not so obvious. As I told you, it requires energy and time and so courage to do it. And it's pretty rare in the culture that we want people to be very honest and vulnerable. Most of the time to protect others. And so we think that others are vulnerable or weak or whatever, and we are stronger than them. We avoid to talk about something. But who is so honest to tell the truth and with care, with love, with presence, with time, and say, okay, I have something very sensible to say to you. I feel this and this.
And if you could not find platform or person in your present network, feel free to reach out the Love Health Center anytime. We keep your privacy.
Yeah.
And just discuss what you could do with your special situation. So please feel free to share this live. It can create an opportunity for someone else to talk about their finding the solution for their situation without expressing the already created damage or pain or trauma. Because the purpose of the Love Health Center is helping you to find a solution without sharing your identity. That's an important announcement. And also, I'm coming back over and over again the orgasmic meditation, because that helped me to release and remove negative emotions around my desires, to express it and own it, and help me to step further into the sexuality with easiness and simpleness, with a simple manner, when there is no complication, then overthinking, and with a simple process. I learned how can I express desires, how can I feel safe in an environment, and also having a lot of joy and pleasure, and focusing on the body sensation instead of the movie or fantasies in my mind, and hallucinating myself about the joy. Also on the website you can find more information about the orgasmic meditation. It's even not on a weekly basis, but regularly it's happening, when you can learn and being involved the community that helping you. And also, if you can just give one advice, what would be the most important?
For me, sharing your desire is really a gift for yourself and for your partner and for the relation. So dare to share your desire, as small as it is or big as it is. It's so beautiful when someone is honest and consider you as a trustful partner to say, okay, I have a desire, I will give it, I will make it a present, a gift, and then it will nourish both of you. Try to make something that nourish the connection between both of you. Don't think that the desire will break or destabilize or make put the relation in trouble, but think on the opposite side, or from more positive side, and say, okay, it's really a gift, and the desire is a gift. If you don't have any desire, it's starting to be depressive, and you lack of vitality. If you have something, share it. It could be so beautiful. So the live is already more than 50 minutes long. So it's already a lot of information. We hope that you have a source of discussion to grow with yourself and in your relation.
We encourage you to share in the comment your thought. Maybe you have your own tips, which is helping to others. Please share it in the comment. And if you have question and you want to give it openly, please add in the comment as well, because we want to hear from you. And like us, share this live as well. And we are coming back next week with the relationship talk. More and more interesting topics are on the board. And up until then, please remember, it's pleasure should not be a taboo. So speak about it, share about it, and express it.
So have a good evening.
Bye.